Let's talk trading capital, guys. When you first came into the market, or if you're thinking of coming into trading, you want to quit your job, you want to make some serious money. What is your thought process? How much capital are you starting with? How much did you start with? Have you been watching the social gurus flipping $100 or $1,000 to $1 million in a few months, and you think this is something that you can achieve? Are you thinking that I'm going to start with $1,000 and by the end of the year, I'm going to be quitting my job? And is this feasible? Is this actually possible? Do you think with your skill set, this is something you can do? Well, that's exactly what I'm looking into today. I'm looking at how important capital is and what is the capital amount that you would need to actually make a difference in your trading, to quit your job, to get to a point that you can trade full time and make some serious money. By the end of this video, through the use of a very cool experiment, I'm going to be showing you how important capital is and how much of a difference it can make in your trading career. Now, I've personally been trading well over 8 years. I've been trading prop firms for 3 years, and I've been funded up to $1 million at this point. And apart from that, in our community, we have over 1,200 of our members currently funded with $100,000 or more. So everything I'm about to talk about and about to show you isn't just theory. Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. Now, I know the title said 100 versus a million, but I'm actually going to throw in a middleman for the experiment. So we're going to have 3 different traders, one with 100, one with 100,000, and one with $1 million as a starting point. But what you've got to understand is each one of these traders is essentially the same trader. They all use the exact same strategy and they make the exact same profit. So for this experiment, we're going to say that each trader makes exactly 5% profit per month. So each trader here wants to quit their job and start trading full time. Now, in order for them to do that, they need a monthly profit of around $3,000 to $5,000. Just for argument's sake, that's the number we're going to put it at for the experiment. So let's dive in and have a look at how this goes. So trader 1, $100 is all he has available for capital. He's trying to make his target of $3,000 to $5,000. Trader number 2, he has $100,000 and he also is looking at making $3,000 to $5,000 per month as his target. Then we have trader 3 who has $1 million available worth of capital, and he again also wants to make $3,000 to $5,000. So let's break this down. Trader 1 comes to market with his $100. Now, based on this 5% profit per month, his starting earnings is going to be around $5 per month, and then obviously he's going to grow with that. As he grows, he'll start to make a little bit more. So how long is it actually going to take trader 1 to hit his target of $3,000 to $5,000? Well, with no withdrawals and constant compounding, it's going to take trader 1 11 years to hit his target. In 11 years time, he will eventually get to the lower end of the 3,000 per month, not even the top end, the low end, right? So how aggressive will trader 1 have to trade if he wants to get to his target sooner? If he were to double his risk, it would take 5 years. If he were to 5x his risk, it would take 2 years. If he were to 10x his risk, which means every single day, every single trade, 10 times the risk he would be taking, it would take him 10 months. But let's be honest, no one is going to be 10xing, 5xing, or even doubling their risk every single day, because that is going to end to failure. You're going to end up losing your account. So that's not really possible. All right, so let's go to trader number 2. Remember, I've thrown this trader in because I'm going to be talking about the 100,000 later, and you'll see why. So based on the 5% profit, your starting capital, 100,000, he's going to be starting initially with his first month of earning $5,000. So how long is it taking him to reach his monthly target? Well, he'll be reaching it within his first month. In fact, in his first 2 weeks, he could potentially be getting to the lower end of his target already. So how aggressive would he have to trade to get there sooner? He wouldn't. He's already there. So let's go the other way. He could actually halve his risk and he would still be at the lower end of his target in the first month. So this is pretty cool to see now that as you get more capital, you can actually lower your risk if you have a target, right? Okay, so let's go to trader number 3. How long is it going to take trader number 3 to hit his target? Bearing in mind, he has $1 million worth of capital. It's not going to take him much time at all, right? He's going to be earning in his first month $50,000. Guys, you see the difference. That's a big difference. Even between the 100,000, which is 5,000, now you're looking at 50,000. The difference between $5,000, which is a lot of money, and 50,000 is phenomenal. And this is the power of capital, right? This is the true power. So how long is it going to take him to reach his target? He's going to hit his target within the first week. So how aggressive does he have to be to get there sooner? Well, obviously he doesn't have to be very aggressive. He can actually be way less aggressive. He could actually reduce it by 10 times and still be easily hitting his target, guys. And this is the key thing to show you that the more capital you have, the less risk you need to put on the table, right? And this is huge for trading. trading. And this is one of the biggest reasons that capital is so important, because the more capital you have, the less risk you have to put on the table to still potentially earn whatever your goal is. Yes, you can be greedy with a big amount of money, but then you still risk the chance of losing a lot more. So more capital means less risk and also means less stress. Okay, so let's have a look at capital comparison here, guys. Remember, all of them starting with different capitals, $100, $100,000, and $1 million, and all of them getting the same gain. Now remember, each of these traders essentially is the same trader. They all use exactly the same strategy. They were all taught by the same person. They all do exactly the same in the market. They have the exact same win rate, and their monthly gain is exactly the same. The only thing that's changing is capital, right? Now look at the monetary gain, and this is what is the big difference when you're looking at capital, guys. Percentage gain is the same. What you do is the same. The money you can earn, that changes massively, right? Trader number one is only making $5 a month. Trader number two, $5,000 a month. Trader number three, $50,000 a month, guys. You're only adding one extra zero on the amount. It goes from 100,000 to a million. It's only 10 times the amount, but look at the difference in monthly. That is huge. That is life-changing. Okay, so let's look at this as a different example. We're going to look at capital in business, right? You have two businessmen. They're exactly the same businessmen in terms of how they do business, the decisions they make, where they've studied, the skill sets they have. They're exactly the same. So everything they do in business will be exactly the same. How they start a business will be exactly the same. The only difference is businessman number one has 10K to start with, and businessman number two has $10 million to start with. Now, which of these two do you think is going to reach the $100 million company first? It's obviously going to be businessman number two, right? Because he has a much larger starting capital. So he can invest a lot more in all the different things he needs to do to grow his company. Whereas businessman number one, if he were to say, I want to keep up with businessman number two, he would have to invest a lot more. He'd have to be a lot more risky to try and keep up with. He would have to put in far more hours. You know, everything he would have to do would be 10 times the work of businessman number two. So yes, it's maybe possible, but he would have to risk so much more. And in risking so much more, he's going to be way more stressed, and he has the chance of potentially losing everything. And this company could never even see the light of day because he's risking too much, right? If he were to just take it as it comes, he could still get there, but it's going to take a lot longer. So there we go. Businessman number two is definitely going to get to the $100 million company way quicker. All right, so let's go back to the traders now, guys, because we understand how important capital is and how much of a difference it can make. But which of these three do you think is most realistic? So let's start with trader number three. Trader number three obviously is not that realistic in terms of a starting capital. Let's face it, if you have $1 million to start trading with, you probably don't need to trade at all. You can just retire. But if you have $1 million, yes, you can make a lot of money, and he probably would look at making a little bit more than $3,000 to $5,000. But trader number three is still a reachable goal once you've actually started. So we're not crossing him out. If you were to start at a lower capital, you can look at trader number three as your goal. So businessman number three, maybe not a very realistic starting point, but a realistic goal. Maybe a lot of you guys would say trader number two is also unrealistic, but I'm going to talk about trader number two in a bit. Trader number one, you guys might all say unrealistic. It's not enough money. It's really silly. But you'll be surprised to know that a larger percent of new traders coming to the market are actually trader number one. They're coming to the market with $100, $1,000, and they think that they can get to that million in maybe a year, or even 100,000 in the first year, because they've seen too many gurus do it on their channels. But trust me, guys, you are not going to get to $100,000 in 1 year starting with $100. And if you are looking at getting that, you're taking it too risky, and it's just not going to work. But the surprising thing is that is most new traders. Now let's talk about trader number two, guys. I would say 10 years ago, trader number two would have also been unrealistic. And this is why I've added trader number two, because in this day and age, today, trader number two is the most realistic because of prop firms. We now have this incredible opportunity in prop firms that we can essentially only invest $300 to $500 with the potential of getting funded $100,000. And there you go. There's your $100,000 capital. So the prop firm industry has made trader number two, I think, the most realistic of the three. The title is $100 versus $1 million. And that gives you the idea of how important capital is. But both of them are not really going to be starting points. A good starting point for you guys is definitely trader number two through the use of prop firms. Now, I hear what you're saying. It's very difficult to pass prop firms. And I would say to you that you can be trader number two if you have two things. Number one, a system, a working system, a system that has an edge. You already have to come to the market with an edge. And if you don't have that, go figure it out. Find your strategy, find your edge on demo accounts, on small accounts. That's where trader number one would come in. Use trader number one to figure that out. Once you've figured that out and you've been trading on small accounts, then you come back. But trader number two, all you need is that system. Number one. Number two, capital. If you have those two things, guys, you can then scale up to be trader number 3. Trust me, because I've seen it in our community. We have 1,200 people in our community that are already trader number 2, that have got to the $100,000 minimum. And we have, I think it's over 30 already that have scaled up to be trader number 3. So if that doesn't excite you about the prop firm industry and how much potential there is for us as traders, the scalability we have, it's phenomenal. Over the whole time that I have been trading prop firms, I have scaled up to $1 million. I've traded $1 million in total. I've never held $1 million at one time, and that is my goal. My goal is to eventually get to holding $1 million in funded. With that being said, guys, if you want to be trader number 2, all you've got to do is go to www.propfarming.com, have a look at our demo video. It explains everything about our system and why our system has an edge and why it works so much. So that's the system and that's the edge that I talked about. Now, if you want the capital, it comes hand in hand. Our system and our edge is going to give you that capital. And then you're going to have the two things that you need to go to the next level to become trader number 3. So make sure you guys go to www.propfarming.com, have a look at the video, fill in the form, and one of our support staff will get hold of you. And you're going to be trader number 2 very soon. And then not long after that, eyes set on the goal of trader number 3, guys. With that being said, guys, I hope you liked the video. I hope you saw how important capital is when it comes to trading, when it comes to anything. In fact, capital makes all the difference, guys. If you did like the video, hit that like button, guys. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel for more content like this. With that being said, guys, I'm going to leave you guys there. All the best in your trading, and hopefully we'll see you guys in the Discord soon. Bye for now.